Hey, I'm Ivy, and welcome back. This is a New Year's Eve glam look, or as glam as I generally get. And whether you're staying at home like I do every year with delicious, fancy Indian food watching the ball drop, or going out should you decide to brave it in COVID 2.0, I feel like this is a great look that you can wear no matter what. So I'm starting out with Verdant Forcefield, which is a really lovely green tea scented moisturizer by Phytosurgence, a Canadian brand that I continue to rave about. And that's going to serve as my base for a more full coverage foundation. So this is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Really, whatever kind of more full coverage foundation you typically use is fine. I just happen to like this one. I feel like the color match is perfect for me, and I do really love the finish and how well it lasts through the day. The one thing that I'll say about it is it could be a little drying depending on your skin type and your skin prep, but if you prep accordingly, I think it works really great. So this is the Rare Beauty concealer I used in my last video. I'm using it again because it is another great full coverage kind of option for concealer. A lot of my concealers and foundation products are more light and for everyday wear, but when I do want to do a, again, quote unquote, glam look, this is the kind of thing that I reach for. So I'm just using that to kind of fill in a little bit under my eyes and cover up a few spots and just kind of generally even out and brighten up some areas of my face. I really like how this concealer works for me, and they do have a great shade range, so I think they're worth checking out. I'm just pressing it into some spots under my eyes to make sure there's no excess and no creasing. I'm going in with my everyday bronzer just because it's my fave. I do have some other bronzer options, but I really do reach for the e.l.f. Cosmetics putty bronzer and tan lines all the time. I just feel like it blends into my skin really well and creates a very soft, diffused, sort of bronzy look. So I continue to reach for it kind of no matter what I'm doing. So this is the Pat Mcgrath Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette, which is a mouthful. It is a really beautiful palette, and they stepped up their game this year from last year's holiday collection, I have to say. I'm not usually someone who falls subject to kind of the holiday makeup craziness that happens. I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of releases if you are a beauty fan, but this palette, I think, because of the green alone, which, spoiler alert, you're gonna see that in this look, really spoke to me. And I have to say that I have zero regrets picking it up. It is a really worthwhile palette. It has a lot of versatility, a lot of incredible shades, Pat's signature formulas that are really, really killer, and I reach for it more than I would have even expected. I'm using one of the most boring shades in the palette to start off this look. As you can see, I'm kind of creating a really diffused, smoky, tan kind of wing, just getting the basic shape. And I'm using the tannish, lighter matte shade in the palette to just kind of go over my corner of my eye into the outer socket and all along the outer edges, and building up sort of a little bit of just nice transitional color there. I really wanted a nice warm tone in the background so that when I do layer up the greens that are coming in the future, they really pop. And I find that if you pair browns or oranges with greens, it just sets them off in a really gorgeous way. So I'm just building up that shade and using a soft brush to kind of fill in all the edges there. I'm gonna layer that up with the darker brown matte shade that's in the palette, and kind of bring that in as well so that it gets even deeper in the outer corners. And then I'm just diffusing out the edges to make them really super soft, because I'm gonna do a wing later and I wanna be ready for that. So this is a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. I just sprayed it on my brush, and I'm using a flat shader brush to go in with the sort of darker turquoisey glitter sparkle shade in the palette. and I'm putting that in the outer corner. I thought it would be really nice to set off the more bright kind of emerald green with this more blue toned green, and it would just give it a little bit more dimension and a little bit more interest rather than just being super flat and only one shade. And these two colors, the brighter green and this turquoisey green, work really, really well together. I'd actually never used the MAC Fix Plus before with this palette, so I wasn't sure how it would work, but I have to say I think it worked decently well. So I did just do that kind of method for laying down this blue color, but later when I go in with the brighter green, I decided to use my finger so that would really pack on the color, and I feel like it did a good job of making it just brighter. And I feel like that's a tip that I would give anyone, which is when you really want something that has a lot of pigment and a lot of sparkle in it, like these kind of Pat McGrath shades, using your finger to apply them is going to give you the best impact. There's really no brush application that will give you the same kind of application that your finger will. Your fingers are amazing tools. So I like to layer this up with that and then just kind of tap it on top of that turquoisey blue shade. So I'm just speeding this up a little because it did take a little bit of time to apply, but I am obsessed with how these two colors work together. I think they came out so beautiful, and I keep finding new ways to kind of reach for those two colors and try and include them in everyday looks as well. So there's a really lovely gold shade in the palette as well. And I wanted a hit of color and brightness in my inner corner, but not something that was going to detract too much from the green. And I thought that adding a little bit of gold would be nice because it would give a bit of interest and dimension, but not upstage the green. And I felt like if I did a really bright, lighter white or, duochrome color, then it would become the focus of the look, and I really didn't want that to happen. So I just thought this gold would set things off well, and I am definitely happy with how it looked. Very ethereal. So I'm just packing that in with a kind of a smaller, denser brush so that I can really get the full impact of that color. So this was a last minute decision, but I'm really glad that I made it. I decided to line my waterline, which is not something I typically do really ever, but I happen to have this gorgeous kind of forest green color called Spare Time, which is from the ColourPop Raw Beauty Christie collaboration, and I have barely used it, even though it's such a pretty color and it's a gel eyeliner. And I just felt like it would be a nice way to kind of give the waterline and the bottom of my eyes a little bit more intensity without being super dark, and just going with the overall look. So it's subtle when you see the finished look, but I really like what that did. It wouldn't feel like a glam look to me without a little bit of liquid liner, and I don't know, there's something about the Cosmetics brush tip liners that just feeds my soul. They are my ultimate liquid liner pen. I use them all the time, and in particular I thought that the brown shade here would work really well with the rest of the look, kind of giving a little bit of that, glam intense liner, but not making it black, which gives it just inherently a little bit more softness. And I like that everything here, including what I'm wearing, is kind of soft and muted and brown, so that again, the green just pops. So that was the goal. So I'm applying one of the Phytosurgence Skin Spark blush bombs. Again, they're just my favorite application and formula right now. I'm obsessed with them. I find that I'm rarely reaching for other blushes because I like them so much. And in particular, this color felt like it really went with the kind of original tan shade that I applied on my eyes. And I loved how everything just felt like it worked really well together. And again, echoed sort of the color of my dress and the color in the eyes and the bronze and all the good stuff. I just was really happy with how this color palette kind of all came together in the end. Just putting on a little bit of lip balm. At this point, my lips were hella dry, and I needed to prep them for 2 lip looks. So that's my secret surprise for this video. I wanted to give you guys 2 lip options that I thought you could pull off with this look. So this is the more neutral option of the lips. I loved this 1999 beauty pencil in Neutra so much. I just really wanted to try to use it in this look. And I think it's a great formula. It's extremely creamy. You could even just use it fully to line and fill your lips as a lipstick, and it would work great on its own. But yeah, I just pretty much any excuse I can have to use it, I will use it. I decided it would be nice to layer a gloss on top. I mean, you're home, you're not wearing a mask, like put on a lip gloss. So this is a ColourPop gloss. It's new to me, called Firestarter, and it had a more browny orangey tone to it, and I felt like it would go really well with the dress, and again just kind of echo other colors on the face, but really makes the eyes pop, and that's kind of what I wanted to show for this first option. The lips aren't competing in any way, they're just there, defined, plump, if you like that word. If you hate that word, I'm sorry. But this is lip option number 1. Oh my gosh, I could not get this cap back onto the gloss. It kept bouncing out. I'm just using a brush to blend the liner and the gloss a little bit more together. I don't know where my lip brush went, but I decided to use an eyeshadow brush to just blend them together and create a more seamless look. So that was lip option number 1. Here I am removing it for your viewing pleasure to apply lip option number 2. So I think there's a myth out there that if you're doing a bolder eye look, you can't wear a bold lip. And I'm here to say that I don't think that that's true, and you can do whatever the hell you want. So, it's holiday time, it's New Year's Eve. If you want to wear a red lip, then fucking go for it. So I am using a newer to me product. This is the Lip Maestro by Armani Beauty, and I think it's shade 415, but it is quite obviously a beautiful red. And I haven't had that many opportunities to wear it. It screams holiday to me, and I just thought, why not? It feels like tonally it can go with this look, and I just wanted it to be loud and red, but still kind of go with everything else. I'm using another 1999 beauty pencil here in Voros to line my lips a little bit and add a bit more dimension to the lips and just help me kind of create that shape. But yeah, I'm so pleased with how this lip actually pairs with the eyes. It worked a lot better than I expected, and I think it's nice. They play well together. This is actually my very first time applying the Phytosurgence Spectral Shine. I decided last minute to put on a little bit of highlighter. I'm actually not a big highlighter girl. I do have quite a few highlighters in my collection, but I don't apply them most days, especially not in winter. I don't know why, I don't reach for them, but I was really curious to try this product from them, and I do love how natural it is. It just feels like a very soft, glowy highlight. So that was my first trial with them. And voila, this is the finished look. It is super glam for me, but you could do a million things to make this more your style. You could add lashes, you could add powder, you could put on a much more vibrant highlight if you wanted to. There's a lot of things you could do to make this your own. Oh yeah, I got lipstick all over my teeth. But I hope you guys have a wonderful and happy and safe New Year's Eve, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.